usually wear. Thanks, Gretchen. Well, it's a county deep in debt. Nassau County, New York, is already hundreds of millions of dollars in the red. But now the county wants taxpayers to take on $400 million in additional debt to build a new hockey stadium for the Islanders. This is really a good idea. Tom Suozzi is a former Nassau County executive. He joins us now to talk about it. Tom, nice to see you this morning.
Hey, Clayton, how are you?
I'm doing well. How can they get away with this?
You know, there's two sides to this debate. You have one side that it's curious because the Republicans are saying they want to create jobs and do a stimulus package by building a new Coliseum. The Democrats on the other side are saying that this doesn't make sense. You're going to raise people's taxes in the midst of all these problems while you're trying to cut jobs, you're trying to deal with a major deficit. You want to borrow $400 million and raise taxes by 4%.
Yeah, and they can't afford it. That's the problem here. The taxpayers can't afford it. They've already been looked at and then placed on watch. This budget is already $400 million they're seeking to borrow for this new stadium, and yet they can't afford it. They're already being looked at by watchdog groups because they can't even balance their budget. How can they be expected to be able to do this and build a new stadium?
Nassau County, which is one of the wealthiest counties in the United States of America, is one of the few places in America, one of the only places in New York State, that has a fiscal control board in place where you have people appointed by the state of New York who are assigned to watch the finances of the county. So in the midst of all these different financial problems, they're talking about borrowing the $400 million to build a new Coliseum because they want to keep the Islanders there. They want to create jobs. But there are people on the other side saying this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and it's amazing to me with a watchdog group that they can get away with this. But how can they control this at the state level? It seems they put this watchdog group in place, but they're already $176 million in the red. Is the watchdog group doing anything at the state level?
Well, as a matter of fact, they're going to be meeting this week and reviewing their finances to see if they actually have a plan in place to deal with the financial crisis that they're facing in Nassau County. And this is going to be a big topic of conversation, I'm sure.
We're seeing this also at the national level. Even the Wall Street Journal had a cover story the other day out of Ohio about the same thing affecting individuals there trying to build a new stadium and putting it on the backs of taxpayers. And 6 out of 10 individuals in Hamilton County, Ohio, in the poverty, at the poverty level, and yet they're being asked to fork over money out of what little money they have to fund a stadium.
A lot of times governments think there can be a one-shot solution to the problems that they face. And the idea of local governments who collect their revenues through property taxes and other local taxes, the idea of borrowing money for stimulus programs doesn't necessarily make sense. You see the same thing being debated at the state levels and at the national levels.
Sure, even in the debt ceiling, this is what we're talking about right now. I mean, do you see a similarity here between even Nassau County and what we're being discussed in the debt ceiling? We need to raise revenues, so we're going to do it on the backs of taxpayers.
Well, what's curious is everybody's reversed positions here. In Nassau County, it's the Republicans who want to do the stimulus package, and the Democrats are against it. At the national level, obviously, it's the Democrats want to do stimulus. The Republicans are against that. So the whole thing's been flipped on its head.